The Annabelle real incident. In 1970, a nursing student named Donna, who was living with her roommate Angie in a small apartment, received a vintage Raggedy Ann doll as a gift from her mother. The doll was intended to be a cute addition to her apartment, but soon, what seemed like an innocent toy began to display eerie and unsettling behavior. The strange occurrences started small. Donna and Angie would come home to find the doll in a different position than they had left it. At first, they dismissed these movements, attributing them to their own forgetfulness. But the movements became more deliberate and frequent. For example, they might leave the doll on Donna's bed in the morning, only to find it sitting in the living room by the time they returned home. The unusual activity took a more disturbing turn when the roommates began finding notes around the apartment. These notes were written in a childish scrawl on parchment paper, which neither Donna nor Angie kept in the house. The notes said things like, "Help us," and "Help Lou." Lou was a friend of Donna's and Angie's who frequently visited the apartment. The notes were perplexing, as no one could explain where the parchment paper came from or how the notes appeared. As time passed, the doll's behavior grew even more bizarre. Donna once came home to find the doll kneeling on a chair. This was particularly disturbing because the doll had been left in a different room, and its floppy, soft body shouldn't have been able to hold a kneeling position on its own. Donna and Angie even attempted to recreate the kneeling position by placing the doll on the chair, but it would just collapse. The doll seemed to defy the laws of physics. One evening, Donna came home to find the doll had moved again. This time, it wasn't just a small shift, the doll had been moved into Donna's bedroom, with its arms crossed and sitting on her bed. Now alarmed, Donna and Angie began to realize that something was very wrong. They felt an overwhelming sense of unease in the apartment and began to fear the doll. Lou, a friend of the two roommates, had been concerned about the doll from the beginning. He felt that something was off and warned Donna to get rid of it. One night, Lou had a vivid nightmare in which the doll was crawling up his body as he lay paralyzed in his bed. The doll reached his neck and began to strangle him. Lou awoke in a panic, drenched in sweat, and convinced that the doll was no ordinary toy. Shortly after the nightmare, Lou had another chilling experience. He was in Donna and Angie's apartment, helping them prepare for a trip. They heard noises coming from Donna's bedroom, where the doll had been left. Lou cautiously approached the door, and as he entered the room, he noticed the doll lying on the floor in a corner. As he got closer, he suddenly felt a sharp, searing pain on his chest, as if he had been clawed by an invisible force. When he lifted his shirt, he saw 7 distinct scratch marks on his chest, 3 vertical and 4 horizontal. The scratches were hot to the touch, but faded quickly, healing completely within 2 days. This incident terrified Lou and the two women, leaving them desperate for answers. Desperate to understand what was happening, Donna and Angie decided to contact a medium. During the séance, the medium claimed to have contacted the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins. The medium explained that Annabelle was a young girl who had died tragically in the area before the apartment complex was built. The spirit had apparently been drawn to the doll and felt safe with Donna and Angie. The medium said that Annabelle wanted to stay with them and be loved. Feeling sympathy for the spirit, Donna and Angie decided to keep the doll and take care of Annabelle. However, despite their good intentions, the paranormal activity only worsened. The doll's movements became more frequent and disturbing, and the sense of dread in the apartment grew stronger. As the situation became increasingly terrifying, Donna and Angie realized they were dealing with something far beyond their understanding. They contacted an Episcopal priest named Father Hagen, who in turn referred them to Ed and Lorraine Warren, a husband and wife team of paranormal investigators with extensive experience in dealing with such cases. When the Warrens arrived at the apartment, they immediately sensed an ominous presence. After speaking with Donna, Angie, and Lou, and hearing about the incidents, the Warrens concluded that the doll was not actually possessed by the spirit of a young girl, as the medium had suggested. Instead, They believed that the doll was being manipulated by a demonic entity that was using the guise of an innocent child to gain sympathy and ultimately, to possess one of the occupants of the apartment. The Warrens explained that spirits do not possess inanimate objects like dolls. However, a spirit or demon can attach itself to an object as a means of manipulating people, especially if it is trying to possess a human host. In this case, the doll was being used as a conduit by an inhuman spirit with the goal of sowing fear and eventually causing harm. Recognizing the danger, the Warrens decided that the doll needed to be removed from the apartment immediately. They arranged for a priest to perform an exorcism blessing on the apartment to cleanse it of any residual spirits. The Warrens then took the doll with them, wrapping it in holy water and a rosary for the trip back to their home. However, even after being removed from the apartment, Annabelle continued to be a source of malevolent activity. On the way back to their home, the Warrens claimed that their car experienced multiple near accidents, with the brakes failing and the steering locking up on several occasions. After stopping to sprinkle holy water on the doll, the disturbances subsided, and they were able to safely reach their destination. Once they arrived home, the Warrens placed the doll in Ed's study. However, the doll continued to exhibit strange behavior, often levitating and moving around the house. To contain the entity, the Warrens had a specially built glass case constructed, which they placed in their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut. The case is inscribed with a warning sign, "Positively do not open." Since being placed in the museum, Annabelle has remained one of the most famous and feared items in the Warrens' collection. The doll is blessed twice a month by a priest to ensure that the evil spirit remains contained and does not cause further harm. Visitors to the museum have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread when near the doll, and some have even claimed to experience misfortune after mocking or challenging the doll during their visit. The story of Annabelle has since become a cultural phenomenon, inspiring numerous books, documentaries, and movies. While many people are skeptical about the supernatural claims surrounding Annabelle, the story remains one of the most compelling and terrifying cases in the Warrens' extensive career. Whether or not one believes in the paranormal, the tale of Annabelle serves as a chilling reminder of the unknown forces that may exist beyond our understanding.